Julie Hassan, and you're watching Everyday Dish TV. Today I am going to make one of my favorite recipes out of Vegan Diner, and Vegan Diner is my brand new cookbook, hot off the press from Running Press. And you've got to check it out. I am so proud and so excited about this book. It's all diner favorites gone vegan, and these are some of my favorite recipes really of all time that I make in my kitchen all the time, so check it out. Anyways, today we're going to make the soft and chewy chocolate chip cookies from the book. It's really fun because there's lots of different variations you can do on it, and they're low fat too, so what could be better than a low fat chocolate chip cookie? And really, this is my favorite cookie ever. So let me show you how to make the cookies. One thing though, before I show you what's in the cookies, I want to just show you something that's really important, and that's how I measure flour, because this is really going to make the difference when you're making my recipes for baked goods on how they come out. And I know everybody measures flour differently, so I want to show you how I measure my flour when I develop my recipes so that they come out. So I take my dry measure cup. Never use the liquid measure cup with the little spout on it because it's not going to be accurate. Okay, so I take it and then I spoon my flour right into the cup. And this might seem a little fussy, but it's really important, and I want you guys to have the best baked goods ever. And I take a knife or a skewer and I skim the top, and that is how I measure my flour. Okay, enough said. I'll put this away. Now to the recipe for the chocolate chip cookies. I have some unbleached all-purpose flour here. You could also use whole wheat pastry flour. Comes out great, or half whole wheat pastry flour and half all-purpose flour. Works totally great. You can also, if you visit my website, I will, where the recipe is on everydaydish.tv, I'll also have a variation for making these gluten-free as well. So it's a multifaceted recipe. All right, so we have our flour. Now we're gonna add our baking powder and our baking soda. I always like to mix the dry ingredients first. It's just sort of a systematic way and it works really well. And I whisk them together, so I don't sift them, I just take a whisk and aerate it and mix it well. That's it for that. Now, in a big bowl, you could also do this in a mixer, it would work great. We're gonna add in our brown sugar. Put that there. And our ground golden flax meal, which is just ground flaxseed. We're only using a tablespoon, but it helps bind it really well, and it also adds omega-3 fatty acids, so it's really a healthy thing to add to your baked goods. All right, so we whisk that together. Now we have our oil, only 3 tablespoons of canola oil, so truly this is a low-fat cookie. Don't need much. If you wanted to too, you can add a little bit of salt as well to the dry ingredients, just to give it a little salty bite as well. So your call. Now we're gonna whisk in a little soy milk. Don't worry about the recipe. Remember, it's on our website, everydaydish.tv, as well as in the book. All right, so we've got that mixing. Then we're gonna take our pure vanilla extract. Really important to use pure vanilla. And I really like this from Nielsen Massey, but use a good quality pure vanilla. Let's mix that in. None of that artificial stuff. All right, this is what it looks like. Nice and emulsified, perfect. You don't have to do anything else. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in the dry ingredients, but the key is to get really nice chocolate chip cookies. You don't wanna overmix it. So at this point, I take out the whisk and I take a spoon. And we're just gonna stir it in just until it's blended together. And I say this because I have done a tremendous amount of research on chocolate chip cookies over the years in my career. And I honestly have probably made millions of chocolate chip cookies. So they come out best when you don't overmix it. Okay. And you stir it until the flour mixture is absorbed by the liquid. All right, that looks like we're there. Yes, now we're gonna add in our chocolate chips. You can put a little more, you could put a little less, whatever you like. You can also at this point too add nuts or some coconut to it, or dried cherries, dried cranberries. There's so many different ways you can customize these cookies. They're awesome. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop them and bake them. So I have, whoops, this baking sheet. I really like these baking sheets. I'll just tell you a little bit about them. I've had this probably for 20 years. They're stained, but oh well. And I love them because they don't warp. Those thin ones, they always warp no matter what. These are cheap and they're solid and they'll last forever. So I like those, and then I put a piece of parchment paper on top. I never grease my baking sheets. Cookies come out so much better this way. And then I take a cookie scoop. So this is my other trick, years of having a bakery. And this is the smallest one because I like these really small. I think they're perfect sort of bite-sized cookies. These, again, will last like 20 years. They're great. All your cookies will bake evenly because they're all the same size. And they look pretty too. So, and I take it and I scrape against the side of the bowl and then take off any little bits with my finger and put them on there. You do not have to flatten the cookies. You don't have to do anything special. You just scoop them. And I usually get about 4 across. All right, last cookie here. Get every last drop. And I forgot to tell you too, you can totally double this recipe. Sometimes you might have to add like a drop more milk to it, but usually not. And they come out great. So this is how I scoop them onto my sheet. I just leave enough room to spread them so that they spread. They can spread while they're baking. And now we're gonna put them in the oven. Here's the key, like 12 minutes. Your oven might vary a little bit. You definitely, if you have a oven thermometer, really important. But 350 preheated oven, 12 minutes. So I'm gonna put these in. And we're gonna set the timer for 12 minutes. And there we go. Okay, they're ready. And I will show you what they look like at 12 minutes. This is what you're looking for. They are puffed like this. They're just this exact color. So they're like a light golden, I guess it would be. You don't want them any darker. You don't want them to flatten, you want them just like this. And as they cool, they're going to deflate just a little bit and they're gonna be just this beautiful cookie. They're always puffy, you know, like no flat chocolate chip cookies with this one. And they're so good. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to check out my new book, Vegan Diner. And for this recipe, in addition to being in my book, is also on our website at everydaydish.tv, which also has hundreds of other fabulous recipes as well, all plant-based. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.